Hello ladies and gentlemen, Jadish Joe here once again, and today we don't have a rant, we don't have any gameplay videos, but me personally, that was a wonderful shot with that glob of spit. I'm in a conundrum, because back in 2013 E3, the gameplay demo dropped for Tom Clancy's The Division, and I was really excited about it, really happy about it. And then, I kind of forgot about it because that's my mental way of not being, overly excited about something for, 3-4 years until it comes out. Recently, though, after I made a video previously and I couldn't rename or remember the name of the game that I was so excited about because, once again, that mental block kicked in, I finally remembered it and been doing some research on it. And it's one of those things that there's really not a research to do. Like, I went through, like, the major information sites on video games and stuff like that, and really all they gave was a brief synopsis of it in like 2-3 videos. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to YouTube. YouTube's an excellent source of information. And went there and, yeah, found a lot of information about it, but all the information was breaking down to 2-3 videos that were released, because in 2013 they released the gameplay video, and then 2015 E3 they released the Dark Zone video. And I think just recently they released Becoming an Agent or An Agent's Journey video. And all of them are great videos, even though they're really kind of far spread apart. Anyway, went to GameStop today and did the reservation, got my beta code. So hopefully towards the end of the month when the beta is up and active, I'll be able to play it and actually see what the game's about. Now, I was thinking about doing a video where it's one of those things where the gameplay's playing in the background and I'm talking over it. And not only do I not know how to do that, but also, too, it's one of those things that every single video out there about The Division at this point in time is that sort of setup. So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to talk about The Division, which is me and you. I'm going to talk to myself anyway, so I might as well record it. It's one of those things. Not too sure how I look without my beard, though. That's okay. It'll go back. It was getting too long. It was tickling me. So The Division, Tom Clancy, Ubisoft game. I lost my train of thought. But no, set in New York after the Black Friday incidents, where I guess this virus got released into New York and decimated the population. And you play as a sleeper cell of the United States government to restore order or to, restore, hope or prosperity or survivability to New York. Now, a lot of the videos I watch, people were saying this is post-apocalyptic. I don't really think that's really fair to say that this is post-apocalyptic. It's probably post-epidemic. Because apocalyptic's really like, when we think about nuclear apocalypse, we think about every country pressing the button, sending a nuke somewhere, and blowing everybody up. That's kind of an apocalyptic, scenario, is everybody gets, screwed over. In this situation, it's just New York got screwed over, at least as far as we know or can tell by the gameplay data and the information they gave us, is really just, it could just be New York. And if it was just New York, that's an epidemic. I actually looked it up. Epidemic is a local area that got screwed up or, messed up by a virus or riots, even though that's a different term than yours. But now a pandemic would be if the entire continent of the United States of America was infected by this virus. But at this point in time, we don't know exactly how far this virus spread. We never know, or we don't know if, New York was quarantined in time, even though the United States Army and the government pulled out of New York. We don't know if they actually were able to quarantine it, or if it actually spread across the United States or to other areas. But still, how cool of a concept is that whoever decided to release this virus used Black Friday as a means of, spreading it. Because you gotta remember, you could, hit or you could, like, 1 or 2 major, retail centers, whether it's a mall, whether it's, a superstore or something like that. And this virus, could spread hugely. I mean, because I used to work at Target, and Black Friday at Target, you couldn't walk in that store because there were so many people. And it's like, yeah, man, if a virus was released at this day, I mean, not only is people there getting infected, but then they go home, wrap their presents, give you know, the presents to people, and, you know, they had the viruses on there, and it's just like, wow, you know, that is actually quite scary to think about that scenario. But anyway, that's really the only part of the story that has been developed or, you know, kind of shown at this point. That could be the overarching story, and then you, as the sleeper cell, you know, are trying to restore, you know, order, peace and order and stuff like that. That could be the whole story, and I'm okay with that. Now, the game plays as like a third-person shooter RPG. Now, it's kind of ironic, even though that's not the proper use of the word, but I'm going to say it anyway, kind of ironic, because I just got done bitching and moaning about how I don't like FPS RPGs. So I feel kind of hypocritical at this moment, now being excited about this game, but the game functions like Borderlands, and Borderlands I did say I enjoy because it had a good RPG system, and it was fun to play. However, not too much has been introduced about the RPG system. We know we have skills, and we know we have talents, and that's really as far as it goes. They haven't really said, like, you gotta buy this skill to get this skill, or if you can just buy any skill you want at any given time. So I really don't have that information at this point to actually yay or nay it. However, it's probably going to be a skill tree setup once again, where you have to buy, you know, the grenade to get the rolly grenade, to get the napalm grenade and stuff like that. But it looks interesting. I mean, it's a cover-based RPG shooter, third-person shooter. And as I said, it really has a lot in common with Borderlands, other than being first person and third person, because in Borderlands, you know, you got a gun, you would shoot an enemy, and the numbers of damage you would do with that particular gun would pop over the enemy's head until the enemy was dead. So it's kind of along that same principle, and I don't really mind that principle, because, I mean, as long as you're at the level and have a good gun, you can defeat them. Now, it was an interesting video I watched. That I do agree with the guy. Can't remember his name, but he said that the endgame content may be, you know, constantly farming for guns, better guns, and, you know, facing bullet sponges. And that's very, very true. The endgame content could be like that, especially if they set it up like an MMO or, you know, an open world, shared world experiences. Yeah, most of the endgame of that type of game is, you know, you being level whatever, level cap, you have all your skills, and really all you have to do is go around and, you know, look for new guns and do different things. Which is mostly looking for new guns and new gears, and that's what concerns me, because I am excited about this game, but I do not like grinding at the end of the game. I do not like acquiring everything I have for my character, skill-wise, and now all I have to do is go forth and, you know, collect better armor and better guns and whatnot. But we'll have to see, because as I said, they've really gone the route of Metal Gear with this game. They really haven't given us too much information. They really haven't showed us any actual like in-game gameplay. You know, even like GameStop and IGN, I couldn't find any of them actually sitting down privately playing the game. So they really gone the way of, you know, Metal Gear Solid, where it's actually pretty limited information on the game. Now, this tells me one or two things. One or two things is, you know, the game's been in development for the last 3 to 4 years. So it tells me that this game is either really good, and they know that they're not going to have to advertise the hell out of it, or they're not going to have to, you know, hype the hell out of it to, you know, get people interested in it, because some people are going to play and they're going to go, oh my god, this game's amazing, you have to play it. Or it is so horrible that they don't want to share it. I really think it's the latter, because we've had horrible games in the past 2 years that they've hyped the hell out of to get us to buy it, and it's a strategy that worked for them, so I don't understand why, if their game was horrible, they wouldn't be hyping the shit out of it just to get people to buy it, just out of hype alone. So I really think that it's going to be a good, well thought out game. That which I'm hoping for, because as I said before, I love the futuristic, you know, or the modern third-person, you know, RPGs, and that's pretty much what this game is. And that's why I'm super excited about it, because I know I said in my previous video I long for a modern RPG, and this is a modern-based RPG. So that's why I'm super excited about it. There was some alpha footage. There was an alpha for the Xbox that some of the footage did leak, and a lot of people were complaining that the graphics shown in the 2015 and 2013 gameplay trailers was not equal, or stop making noises, was not shown in the alpha. So the alpha graphics were worse than the E3 2013 and 2015 showings. And to me, it's an alpha, that's okay, and to me, I don't really care about graphics. I mean, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, as long as the story's there and the gameplay's there. I mean, graphics, personally, for me, is not important as long as there's good gameplay and good story. And as I said before, we have had, you know, games over the last 2-3 years come out, and they have been jaw-droppingly beautiful, but they've been lacking in the gameplay and in the story department. So I really rather have a game that has good story and good gameplay and story. Yeah, good gameplay and story. And then with that said, moving on to what I've seen gameplay-wise, is it's kind of like, as I said, Borderlands meets Gears of War. You kind of got that cover-based third-person. Cool thing is you can, I guess you can rock, or you could roll with a party of 4 people. So that would be really cool, especially if you get to a point where you can't beat it. You can always go ask your friends or go ask, you know, a random stranger, like, hey, come help me beat this. And that social aspect's pretty cool. Now, in the earlier, or in 2015, they did the Dead Zone, or the Black Zone, or the Blackout Zone, or whatever it's called. Pretty much it's the most contaminated area of the city, and it has the best loot and the best gear, so you gotta go in there and get it. Now, they said this is the PvP area, to where you gotta go in. There's NPCs in there, or PvE things in there too, but you go in there, you kill the PvE stuff, you get your loot, you collect your stuff, and then you have to go to an evac zone, to where you can shoot the flare up, and then after like 100 seconds or something like that, the helicopter comes in and you put your gear on the helicopter and it goes away. Now this is where they started showing the PvP, where there was like 3 groups in this evac area, and you know, one group attacked them and got flagged as a rogue agent, and you know, they killed them, and then the other group came up to see if they couldn't collect some of the stuff, and then the first group that survived killed the second group and they got flagged. And I can kind of see that as like just like herding cats. I really see that as one of those things that it's pretty much at that point the party with the biggest group and the biggest sticks win that scenario. And I can see that getting tiresome, especially if, you know, you go in there, you just, you know, you get 1 or 2 weapons and you want to evac it, just to find people camping the evac zone waiting for people to come up to, you know, try to get their stuff out. So I really want to know what countermeasures they have against that, or how that actually functions. Now, as I said, in the dark zones, or whatever they call them, the contaminated zones, as I said, you have to call in a helicopter. The helicopter comes, you put your stuff, or you put your gear on the helicopter, and it flies away. Now, in the earlier 2013 trailer, it shows the regular group of 3, Morgan, Bronson, and Scott, or something like that, just out in the open world, and they go and they liberate a police station that's being attacked. And the guy goes into the army and picks up a gun, and the guy goes, oh, well, we better get that gun out of here before you lose it. And they go outside and they do the same thing. They, you know, shoot up a flare, a helicopter comes in, but they get attacked by players before the video ends. Now, I'm wondering if they took that concept and just applied it to the dark zones, or if that concept is still in the game. Because I could see that even being what I mentioned before, you know, pretty tiresome, is you finally get a weapon that you really like and you got to evac it, or else you're going to lose it if you die, and you sit there, you go to an evac zone, and there's people sitting there camping the evac zone, you know, waiting to, you know, just pick people off so they can get the gear. And you know, it's a sad fact, and you know, people are going to do it, and I don't even really mind that they do it, because once again, that's the world that they're trying to set up, you know, post-epidemic, you know, New York. I like how they make they made New York look like Detroit, by the way. If nobody's seen Detroit as of recently, the pictures are just heartbreaking and devastating. And it's good to know what Detroit's doing, because that's a reflection on where America's going. And it's really, really, really horrible. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, to have that type of gameplay, or that kind of, you know, system in a PvP area, is awesome. You know, I would love, you know, getting the gear I can and having to evac it so I get to keep it in a PvP area. But if I'm out cruising by myself in the open world game and I come across a good weapon, I don't want to have to defend myself singly, you know, as one against, you know, 4 other people that are just camping the evac zone, or 4 other people I come across that, you know, want to shoot me. So it would really be interesting if they took the 2013 video, that premise, and just applied it to the dark zone or the contaminated area, or if they actually took that and, you know, applied it to everything in game. I really wish there was more information on this, but as I said, there's really not, because everything that people have been talking about so far has been based on the 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 videos that they released. The newest video they released, The Journey of an Agent, or The Agent's Journey, is actually really cool. They don't really give too much in-depth, you know, look at like actual gameplay. It's just pretty much a cinematic trailer, but it does show some of the guns you get, which I'm excited for, because I noticed that they not only did one of the players have a SOCOM 2, but another player also had a Benelli M4, 2 of my favorite real-world weapons. So I'm kind of happy that I get to experience that in game. Now, also too, this is kind of totally different subject, but I'm so happy that this game and Ubisoft have gone through great length that in every single trailer they've produced to include a female character. Now, to me, this really isn't about sexism. To me, this isn't really worried about women's right. To me, it adds to the overall ambiance of this world that they're putting us in. Because to tell you the truth, is one of those things that when you're in a survival situation, or when you're in, you know, the situation that they put us in this game, it's no longer about, you know, battle of the sexes. It's no longer about, you know, it's no longer about, oh, guys are better than girls, or girls are better than guys. It's about, you know, survival and trying to rebuild. And in situations like that, even throughout history, we've seen, you know, women picking up the sword and men, you know, picking up, you know, the role of like protecting the family and stuff like that. So it's really an interesting concept, and it's really good for them. I give them total absolute kudos for doing that, because as I've said, it adds more depth to the story and depth to this world. Plus, on top of that, you know, we are also seeing a lot more, you know, female gamers. And I'm so happy about that, because, you know, gaming is supposed to be something that everybody enjoys, whether you got a ding-a-ling or you got a hoo-hoo hole. And really, to tell you the truth, I really enjoy gaming with girls better. I know, wow, he actually said it, because some of them can be horrible, don't get me wrong, but the ones that I've experienced gaming with, you know, they're nice. You know, they're courteous, they're like me when playing a game, and that's really what I look forward for with when I find somebody I play a game with. I'm like, are these people like me, or are they like, you know, 90 other % of the douchebags out there? And if they're like me, I really enjoy playing them. I found that 95% of the women that I play with on these games are like me, or have my, you know, style of, you know, gameplay, and or have my, you know, just, you know, good-hearted attitude towards the game. And I really enjoy that. But I digress yet again. But good job, Ubisoft. Good job, you know, for having a female character in all your videos. Kudos to that. Let's see what else. We talked about the dead zones. We talked about the weapons, endgame content. Oh, we're going to talk about the survival aspect of the game. Now, the one piece of information I did glean actually came from the developer himself, or the producer himself, and they said, we really didn't want to make this a survival game. So, you know, you're not going to have to eat, you're not going to have to sleep, you're not going to have to fight off a cold, you know, you're not going to have to drink off water, or drink water to stay hydrated so you can run faster. He said that that's not going to be part of the game. He did say, however, that there is water and food in the world that you can consume to give you buffs. And it's not what I personally was hoping for. It once again broke down to how much money they can make with this, because he said there is a you know, an audience out there for these hardcore survival games, but they found that the audience for, you know, the Gears of War Borderlands mashup was bigger, so they went after that audience. And I think it would be cool that if later on down the line they actually make a patch where they put in a survivor mode, or they put in a survivor. That's a big ass pigeon. This pigeon was huge. Wish I could catch it for you. But come back later and put a patch in, or put a alternate gameplay setting where you have to survive, because they have birds, they have rats, they have dogs in the game, so they really give you food options. And oh my god, how could you say you could eat a rat or a dog or a pigeon or a bird? Because if you're surviving, anything looks good. Well, yeah, it comes down to it. I mean, if you're hungry enough, you'll eat shit. My grandpa always said. But yeah, I think it would be cool later on. The patch would come out, and as patch would come out that actually put a survivor type gameplay in the game. But I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. As I said, I'm super excited about it. And the last time I was super excited about the game, it was Destiny. And Destiny totally ruined my faith in video games. Metal Gear Solid, Phantom Pain kind of did restore it, but even that had its issues. But yeah, definitely looking out for The Division, Tom Clancy The Division. If you actually want to see the gameplay, go ahead and look on YouTube. There's a bunch of gameplay. Check out the 2013, 2015 E3 trailers, and I believe it's called Journey of the Agent, or Agent's Journey, or something like that. That's the newest video they released. But anyway, I'm Jadish Joe. If you liked the video, be sure to like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, as always, more importantly, have fun and be safe in whatever you do in this life. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to shut this off now.